This ninth generation of gaming so far in the past 2 years has been very weird. Let's get to the video and let's discuss. Hello there, my name is Lavon Cason, back at it again with another video. And this ninth generation of gaming so far has been very weird. Like, when you really think about it, you got Sony, pretty much increasing the price of the PlayStation 5. Because normally in a console generation, the console price normally goes down, not go up. They done it in every other region besides the US. And I could think of, one reason why, because Xbox, is actually competitive in the United States. Man, there's gonna be some people out there. I don't know if it's gonna be a lot or many, but there's gonna be people out there that's going to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna get a Series X because that's a more powerful system. It has Game Pass, and yeah, and I'd be able to play, all the third-party games in better resolutions and stuff like that. And you also got Sony pretty much doing PS5 exclusive games, $70. Yes, I know that Sony wasn't the first one to pretty much make their game $70. In fact, it was Activision and 2K that have decided to make Call of Duty and 2K $70 games. Let's be real and let's be honest. It's gonna happen on the Xbox Series consoles. It's gonna be a point in time to where the games on the Xbox Series consoles, they're exclusive. They're gonna be $70 eventually, guys. So I wonder, when that happens, will that get the same amount of backlash as Sony did when they decided to make their games $70? I wonder about that. Let me know what you guys think on that in the comments section below of this video. Alright, so you got Sony at this point pretty much, making movies about Gravity Rush, even though that Sony pretty much closed down Japan studio. Like, it makes you wonder, like, what is Sony doing at this point? Because lately, they've been focusing on their other stuff besides their PlayStation 5. Like, I am still wondering at this point, what is up with Spider-Man 2? What is up with Marvel's Wolverine? Like, I want to know what the heck been going on with those games. But no, we've been finding out a lot more information from Sony's PC releases than Sony's PlayStation 5 future releases. Because I'm gonna be real with you guys, like, what will be released in 2023 when it comes to Sony first party games on the PlayStation 5? What's it gonna be? What's going to be released? Like, I don't really know at this point. So I hope Sony has a PlayStation showcase or whatever to where they can answer these questions. I hope it happens next month. I really hope it happens next month. In fact, I'm betting it'll probably happen next month. But you know what? PlayStation 5, when you really think about it, has had a pretty, good start when it comes to showcasing that the PlayStation 5 is a real next-generation console. I mean, you got Astro's Playroom. You got Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yes, that game is on the PlayStation 4, but let's be real. Pretty much everybody want to play that PlayStation 5 version, meaning that a lot of people were willing to wait to get their hands on the PlayStation 5 in order to play that Spider-Man Miles Morales. Even though that they probably had a PS4 at that point in time to where they were waiting to get the PS5 and Miles Morales, they still just wanted to play it on the PS5 at the end of the day. And they've been doing a pretty good job for the first 2 years. But there's a lot of questions as far as what's been going on with Sony at this point, though. Like, they've been offering good games, don't get me wrong, but there's some questions And some of their business practice has been, you know, kind of spooky a little bit, if you guys know what I'm saying. Also, too, Sony, when are you gonna add more PlayStation 1 games and PlayStation 2 games on your PlayStation Plus premium service or whatever service you call it? When you guys start adding more games, because I remember you were adding games when it first came out, but now at this point, I haven't heard anything when it comes to more PS1 games coming on the PlayStation Plus premium service, or more PS1 games that you can buy, you know, pretty much without the PlayStation Plus premium service. Like, what's been going on with that? And also, too, PC Day and Date is gonna eventually happen. Not this year or not next year, but eventually it will happen. And also, too, my thoughts on the PS5, you know, price increase in other regions. I'm gonna be real with you guys. It is awful. Absolutely awful. But at the end of the day, everything else, you know, a lot of products has been going up. It does suck, but at the end of the day, it's pretty much reality. Like, everything has been going up because of inflation. And also, too, it's funny how Nintendo did not do a price hike for their Nintendo Switch. It's also funny how Microsoft did not do a price hike for their Xbox Series S and X. Like, it's been very funny because it puts Sony in this awkward situation to where they're the only ones doing the PS5 price hike, and not anyone else doing a price hike for their gaming systems. But I'ma just say this right now, at this point, the PS5 will still probably be worth it, even with the price hike, because of the new God of War. Nothing more, nothing less. And you can't say the same thing at this point with another company, which is Microsoft. And yes, let's be real about Xbox at this point. Besides the whole Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, besides that, when you really think about it, Xbox has pretty much failed 2022, because 2022 was supposed to be their comeback year for the Xbox Series X. But when Redfall and Starfield got delayed, it was pretty much a wrap at that point, pretty much. It was pretty much saying Xbox has given up 2022. I mean, at this point, when you really think about it, you're getting an Xbox Series X for Game Pass, a multi-plat box, and an emulation box. Like, those are the three reasons that I could see someone out there getting an Xbox Series X in 2022. And yes, like I said earlier in this video, Xbox Series games are going to be $70. You know, it's going to happen eventually at some point. And I wonder how the reaction will be to that. I honestly am wondering. I want to know what your guys' thoughts, like I said earlier on in the video, on that. But man, I really hope next year Xbox knocks it out the park. Because regardless of whether, you know, Xbox supports, you know, a service like Game Pass or supports a console like the Xbox Series consoles, at the end of the day, they are going to need games. Nothing more, nothing less. And I hope they start coming in 2023. I really hope so. Because, man, at this point, besides Xbox Flight Simulator, when you really think about it, the Xbox Series consoles has been a big iPhone upgrade. You know, yeah, the internals, mean the hardware specs, have been improved into a huge leap. But outside that, I mean, the OS is the same. I mean, a lot of the same games you can pretty much play on your Xbox One or Xbox One X, you know, especially if you have xCloud. I mean, yeah, it's been pretty much a big iPhone upgrade when it comes to the Xbox Series consoles. Yeah, Xbox at this point pretty much cares about Game Pass at the end of the day. That's all they care about. And even then, they're going to need software to pretty much make people say, you know what? I'm gonna subscribe to Game Pass. But at this point, you know, for people that have Game Pass, I bet they're probably, you know, feeling okay, happy. But the people out there that doesn't have Game Pass, they're like, at this point, like, what's the point of subscribing to this service called Xbox Game Pass? Like, what is the point? And that's all I got to say about Microsoft at this point. That's pretty much, you know, I forgot to say this. That's pretty much all I got to say about Sony at this point, you know. We're wondering, like, what's been going on with their first-party games at this point? What's been going on with all the other stuff at this point? Like, we don't know what the heck is Sony doing at this point. Heck, you even seen people out there saying that Sony's pretty much becoming their PS3 era selves, to where Sony's pretty much getting cocky. But let's talk about the one and only company that I have left to talk about, and that is Nintendo. With their Nintendo Switch. I mean, let's be real about something. People are still confused whether or not it's an 8th generation system or a 9th generation system. When it comes to power-wise, you know, if I want to be real with you guys, it's really a 7.5 generation system, if anything, when it comes to power, when you really think about it. I mean, when it comes to the whole 8th gen or 9th gen, it's pretty much a 9th generation system, because generations are really defined by time, not by power. So that's pretty much why I think the Nintendo Switch is a 9th generation system, even though power-wise, it's really 7th generation plus, meaning 7.5 gen. So that's my thoughts on that. The Switch has been pretty much selling amazing. Like, they really have been selling so well. But the big question is, what is Nintendo going to do next? I think Nintendo is going to make a more powerful Switch. That is what I think they're pretty much going to do. And when it comes to the Switch lifetime sales, I think it's going to sell about 140 million. That's what I honestly feel at this point. And the more powerful Switch, it'll be, I say, either PS4 level of performance minimum, all the way up to Xbox Series S performance level. Also, with the upgraded Switch, you know, I would like to see, you know, more third-party games come to it, because let's be real, at this Nintendo Switch, I would love to see more new gen, you know, 9th gen third-party games on this new upgraded Nintendo Switch. I would love to see that. And Nintendo fans, you should want the same thing. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, the real question is when it will release. I'm thinking probably in 2023. That is honestly how I feel. A lot of people in the Nintendo community feel like it's going to release in 2024 and later. But me personally, I think it's going to release sometime next year. That is honestly how I pretty much feel at this point. Because let's be real, guys. You can only do so much with an underclocked Tegra 1 with 4 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, come on, people. It is time for a freaking upgrade, man. Like, it is time. Nothing more, nothing less. Heck, I even heard, you know, some Chinese gamer that pretty much leaked the Splatoon 3, you know, Nintendo Switch OLED. That person has said that there's gonna be an upgraded Nintendo Switch model, you know, could be announced, you know, this September or something like that. And yeah, it's gonna have improved performance. And this person has pretty much said to Nintendo fans, the dawn of 60 frames per second. So yeah, maybe it could release, you know, sometime late November of this year with improved performance. And heck, it was running a Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak at 60 frames per second. And yeah, that's pretty much all I know when it comes to the whole Switch Pro rumors so far, or upgraded Switch, or whatever you want to call it, you know, as far as this year go. So let's hope that announcement happens, you know, sometime next month. Let's hope that becomes true. And also, too, I forgot to say something about Sony. You know, there's been some Japanese gamers out there, believe it or not, are wondering at this point, because of the PS5 price hike, why bother getting a PS5 where I can just pretty much go on to the PC? Because a lot of Japanese gamers weren't really feeling the PS5 price increase. Like, they really weren't. In fact, Japanese gamers want Final Fantasy 16 to come on Steam at this point. That's what I pretty much forgot to say about Sony. But overall, that's pretty much what I've got to say about all three of these companies, man. Like, there's been a lot of weird stuff going on in this generation so far, if I were to be real with you guys. But that's all I pretty much got to say at this point. Also, one last thing. You know, these consoles at this point has been getting a lot more easier to get. You know, back in 2020 and 2021, they were a lot more harder. Yeah, they're still a little bit hard here and there, but if you look hard enough, meaning if you go to, you know, Best Buy or heck, even go to the direct PlayStation website at this point, you can pretty much find a PlayStation 5. You can pretty much find an Xbox Series X and S. So if you're going to, you know, pretty much go to your local, you know, Best Buy or something like that to get one of these systems, then yeah, it's going to be hard. But if you go online, then it's going to be a whole lot easier. And people can't still just go to the store and pick one up. They have to go online now. So, yeah. So, probably around, you know, later on this year or early next year, I would hope that it would be pretty much easy to pick up a PS5 by just, you know, going into the store. But at this point in time, it's pretty much online. That's all I pretty much have to say. Hope you guys have a good day in peace. So now that you have made it to the end of the video, I want you guys to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and when you hit that notification bell, you gotta hit all notifications, so that way you can be notified for future Lavon Cason tech videos, future Lavon Cason gaming videos, future Lavon Cason live streams, and also other videos that I do, such as, you know, reaction videos and things of that nature. Bye.